In just less than 8.5 games in 1993, John Elway has now thrown for 17 touchdowns, 2 this afternoon. Here's the kickoff by Jason Elam. Qadri Ismail at the 3. Dangerous.
We talked about how Sean Salisbury threw the ball too hard for Cris Carter. Watch this hard throw to Johnson between the safety Glenn and the cornerback on the outside. You just got to throw it hard, especially against the zone and especially in the red area, and that is a perfect throw. Nothing either Glenn or McMillan could have done on that one.
There's Vance Johnson, who limped off the field. They're checking his knee, but I think he's going to be all right.
He said he was treating this game as a tryout for the Vikings. Felt he never really got a chance when he was with the Vikings this summer. I think he's passed his tryout.
Well, Denny Green said something last night about the reason they cut him so quickly is they decided that he would never start in Minnesota, and they didn't want to cut either of the young receivers, so they let him go. Why did they trade for him?
Absolutely, that's the question I was going to ask. Glad you did.
Very word. Now Minnesota with real problems. They have had 6 penalties in the ball game, 7, I beg your pardon, 3 turnovers, and they trail by 17 now.
They just have to stick with their game plan at this point. Hope to get cut this lead down to at least 10 going into halftime and have a shot coming out in the second half.
Salisbury right side. That's good for a first down. Cris Carter makes the catch up at the 37-yard line. Sean Salisbury, of course, replacing Jim McMahon, who is with the team but inactive today. And before he managed to stick in the NFL, and it took him a long time, Salisbury played for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the Canadian League, so he's not unused to snow.
Well, and I asked him, you know, does he do anything different? He says, no. When you play in Winnipeg, when that wind's blowing off the plains, there's nothing you can do. You just have to kind of bite the bullet and do your normal thing. Having a good afternoon so far.
Blitz, Mecklenburg down the middle, Jordan. Boy, did they read that one right. All the way down to the 10-yard line. What a great read by Salisbury on the blitz. And Steve Jordan makes his 6th catch of the ball game.
The blitz is the call, Vern. It's Atwater coming up to pick up Word, and you got to believe that that's a blown coverage by either Dennis Smith coming over late or by Atwater. This is the kind of foot race that the Vikings would like to see all day. Number 77, Mecklenburg, trying to run down 83, Jordan.
53 yards on that pass and catch. Steve Jordan with his 6th grab of the day.
And this is really where the Vikings miss Robert Smith. They could use his explosiveness and speed especially after running Word and Craig earlier in this game. They're both about the same speed, but what Smith gives them is that burst that you need against a fast defensive team like the Broncos.
2nd down at the 8-yard line, 20-3. Denver leads it. Salisbury rolls to his left, pulls out, man wide open. Cris Carter, touchdown.
That's exactly what the Vikings needed. They got the big play to Jordan on the blitz, and now in the 2nd play since that play, good play call by Billick, rolling the quarterback out. Carter found the spot in the back of the end zone. Really a nice combination route on that side of the field as Carter slipped in behind the defense. They were looking at Ismail short.
That's the 4th touchdown grab of the season for Cris Carter. Here's Fuad Reveiz. The extra point is up, and it is good. And so quickly, the Vikings retaliate.
There's Brian Billick, offensive coordinator. Watch Steve Jordan. We saw him make the great play on the pass reception. Now he's being the good blocker, taking care of Simon Fletcher.
A look behind the scenes as sports and science converge, brought to you by AT&T. The U.S. Olympic Committee unveiled a state-of-the-art swimming pool last month where current and future Olympians can train. The new facility features 6 above water and 3 underwater cameras, all patched into a central control room where they are recorded for analysis. Pacing monitors reveal computerized practice instructions which can be individualized for each lane. It is a swimmer's paradise.
Hey, MCI friends and family customers, want to see how you could save more with AT&T? Look, most people call the same area code over and over. Well, if you spend $40 a month on long distance, AT&T will give you 25% off our basic prices to that one area code. So if you're a friends and family basic or primetime customer, you could save more with AT&T. Now, write down this number. You'll also get 15% off your other calls, too. So call now and switch. Just another part of the iPlan.
Introducing the all-new 1994 two-door Camry Coupe. Any guesses where we got the idea? The new Toyota Camry Coupe, developed and built in America.
Cris Carter, one of the best in the league in number of touchdowns per reception. Jerry Rice is the leader, 6.1 catches for a touchdown catch, and Cris Carter's on that list.
34 touchdown catches for Carter now. Could have had one earlier in the game, too.
Shoulda.
Woulda.
Here's Reveiz. And that'll be a touchback as Glenn Milburn drops to one knee.
A little bit of confusion on the part of the Broncos secondary. And remember, this is Frank Robinson out here. He's replacing Dimry. And watch as he comes up. He should stay deep and be looking for Carter in the back of the end zone, but he bites on the route by Ismail, and that leaves Carter open in the back of the end zone.
And it cuts the lead to 20-10 with 4:03 to go before halftime. John Elway, 2 touchdown catches, passes already today. Here's one of the few blitzes threatened by the Vikings. They're coming. The toss to Bernstine on the sweep right. And good defensive work against the run by Minnesota.
And the Vikings, what they also need now is a turnover, Vern. And talking to Dungy, the turnovers just haven't come this year as they did last year. He's not too worried about it, but he feels that his team has to play with a sense of urgency, that they have to realize that they're in desperate straits and all those type of cliches and everything. And then if they play that way, then the turnovers will come.
See the Cowboys go up as Bernie Kosar throws a touchdown pass. 2nd and 10, Shannon Sharpe in motion to the left. Elway across the middle to Sharpe.
You see Kosar getting that touchdown pass, Vern, and you got to think that the Browns management is real happy they're not playing at home today, and instead of playing in Seattle, because if they were playing at home and they put that score up there about Dallas and Kosar doing well, they'd hear about it. Boy, there's some diminished scoring there on Cleveland's part. I think that's the word of the day, diminished.
Diminished, yes. Delpino's back in on 3rd and 1 officially. Here's the toss to Delpino. Bernstine leads the way. And that's good for a first down out across the 30-yard line. 2:38 to go in the first half.
You know, John told me that there's less pressure on him, and part of the reason is he's delivering and distributing the ball to all his receivers. To the wide receivers, it's down just a little bit. The tight ends, it's the same. But it's in the running backs, Bernstine and Milburn and Delpino, where the distribution of passes has gone up. That is tough to defense when everybody's involved in the offense.
1st and 10, Denver. They're up by 10. Left side, caught by Johnson, the tight end. Something fairly rare. He's not that involved in the passing game. Came in with only 12 catches. He's got 2 in the first half.
Well, and the Vikings finally put a little soil and dirt and grass stains on Elway's uniform. Watch Randall here. He's going to spin him to the ground. Yeah, there's some grass stains for you, John.
Yeah, but I have a feeling John will settle for that. Not a bad outing for Mr. Elway and friends. 20-10. The Broncos are up by Minnesota at the 2-minute warning.
S-Jet printers from Hewlett-Packard. It's easy to make it happen.
I was tired, listless. My hair looked bad. My dog moved away. My life was as bland as your average chicken sandwich. Then I tried McDonald's new McGrilled chicken. Now this was different.
A marinated chicken breast with Monterey Jack, sweet red onions, tangy herb dressing on a bakery roll. Well, things changed. My hair looks great. My dog came home, and we struck oil in the backyard.
Coincidence? We don't think so. Try the new McGrilled chicken sandwich. Further proof that what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
With the Toyota Touch lease, there's never been a better time to lease a Toyota, and never a better time to lease a Toyota Corolla. For only $189 a month with no down payment, you get Corolla's legendary reputation for reliability, dual airbags, air conditioning, power steering, 4-speaker stereo, and more. For only $189 a month, the Toyota Corolla and the Toyota Touch lease. In today's economy, it's perfect timing.
Jim McMahon is on the inactive list today with a dislocated shoulder, but he is immaculately dressed, wearing a former Fox.
And you know, there's nobody out there that's going to go up and throw blood on him.
No. I saw him and John Elway talking before the game, and I think Elway was congratulating him on his clothes. Here's a flag down, and
I think this one's going to go against Russell Freeman, Vern. The right tackle seemed to be moving quickly. Too quickly.
False start. Number 84 offense. Moving prior to the snap. Still second down.
Got the guy lined up next to Freeman, Shannon Sharpe.
About an hour before the game, out on the middle of the field, here were McMahon and Elway. John was seen. I really like your tails. Nice coat. Somehow I don't think we'll see Elway in similar kind of fashion. Help me out here.
I saw that you ordered the same thing.
There's a sack at the 15-yard line. Dolman. J.C. Pearson thought they had the fumble recovery. A loss of 16 yards.
It's a blitz off the slot by Pearson, Vern. Here he is, 24, coming in free. Actually, here he is from this side. Dolman is coming from this right side. Nobody there and nobody to catch the blitz adjustment. The question is, was that ball out before Elway was down? Tom White, our official, says his knee was down before the ball came out. You can see John looking for one of his receivers, and that's real close as Dolman had his right hand on the ball and just pulled it loose.
Time has been called with 1:56 remaining first half. Time called by Minnesota.
Anyone can see that the new GE Profile Radiant Convection range is easy to clean, but the real technological advantage is what you can't see. So we'll show it to you in a roundabout way. Introducing the first GE range that circulates hot air all around your food. Roasting meats up to 30% faster, so they get done to a turn on the outside while staying tender and juicy on the inside. Why does GE offer such an ingenious way to cook? Because we know how much of life revolves around dinner.
1:56 to go first half. Broncos up by 10, but they're looking at a 3rd and 24. And Minnesota with 2 timeouts remaining if they are able to force Denver into a punt. Milburn goes left. And a flag is down, thrown back in the vicinity of a confrontation with Dolman and John Melander. Holding.
And this penalty thing is getting contagious here. It was Minnesota having problems with it earlier, and now Denver is kind of losing concentration here. Of course, Henry Thomas says refuse that one. We want the ball back. Conservative call by the Broncos. Jim Fossil didn't want to expose his quarterback to that pass rush.
Number 64 offense. The penalty is declined. Result of the play will be 4th down.
And as a result, Tom Ruin is on to punt. And Eric Gulliford is deep for the Vikings, deep being the 36-yard line. .148 to go before halftime. Minnesota has 2 timeouts remaining. High, but not terribly deep. Gulliford has it at the 40. And counter punches as far as the 45-yard line. Mike Kroll makes the tackle. 36-yard punt and 5 on the return, and the Vikings are 55 yards away with 1:39 to go. Next weekend, be sure to join Greg Norman as he hosts the Franklin Fund Shark Shootout from Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks, California. That's Saturday at 3:30 Eastern and Sunday at 2:30 Eastern or 4:30 Eastern, depending on when the football game is televised in your area. Be sure to check your local listings. Here's Salisbury. Drills it. Incomplete. Intended for Jordan. Lilo Lang was defending at the 50-yard line.
Up to that point, Salisbury had completed 6 in a row and really had led his team back after falling behind by 17 points. They've had their opportunities today. Remember, they had the ball on the 1-yard line when they fumbled. Cris Carter dropped a potential touchdown pass, but Salisbury's held them together well.
Second down and 10, 1:35 to go before halftime. Broncos up by 10. Good protection. On a line for Carter with the catch. Dandy grab by Cris Carter.
And nobody better in the league at making it one-handed, whether it's his left hand or his right hand. This guy continues to amaze me. I played with a couple guys who could catch it one-handed, but I've never seen anybody like Cris Carter.
That's a gain of 23, and this catch is made for Anthony Carter, and Atwater tries to take his head off, but he gets out of bounds at the 17-yard line. And how about this sudden comeback by Minnesota?
Well, the Broncos aren't putting any pressure on Salisbury. He's able to stand back there and let his wide receivers maneuver down the field. First Cris Carter, then Anthony Carter.
Still 1:10 remaining in the half, and the Vikings have their 2 timeouts left.
Absolutely, that's really key. That really gives them the opportunity to run a lot of different types of plays. They can afford to run the ball in this situation as well.
Little screen pass to Roger Craig. Roger Craig strolls in for the touchdown. And muffs the spike.
You think he'd be better at it? He's done it so many times in his career. Been in the end zone now 73 times in his great career. But that screen pass was not only well thought out, it was well executed. Key blocks by Schreiber and Todd Kalis.
You know what the most common look now when you get a reaction shot in the National Football League?
Is looking at the replay
Guys
board.
looking up at a 45-degree angle. Hey, look, Mom, that's me. Reveiz. And what looked like a Denver runaway at 20-3 is now a very close ball game at 2017.
Key blocks by number 69 and number 60. Kalis and Schreiber. There's Schreiber's block, and then Kalis and McDaniel take care of Lilo Lang, who wanted nothing to do with those big guys. And then just one of the all-time worst spikes by Roger Craig. They're going to invite Simon Fletcher up the field. There's the cut block by Tim Irwin. Perfectly executed screen pass and a wonderful call by Brian Billick. Broncos were back on their heels, and when's the last time you saw a screen pass go that far for a touchdown?
Roger Craig now in his 11th year. And a terrific call. Well executed, as Dan said. It's 20-17.
Talk about a quarterback with a hot hand, too. I mean, Salisbury, last couple of drives, has only missed 1 pass.
Well, we haven't reached the half yet, and he has thrown for 254 yards. The pass defense of the Broncos has been a problem all season, though. Charlie Waters was telling us he thought they had improved terrifically in the last couple of weeks.
One of the big problems is today they're just not putting any pressure on Salisbury. And when you can stand back there, and when you're nice and tall at 6'5", as Sean is, and have a strong right arm, it's not that difficult to find those wide receivers that are getting open.
1:02 to go before halftime. 20-17. Derek Russell gets by Jake Reed and scoots up the sidelines, out of bounds in the vicinity of the Minnesota bench at the 33-yard line. Brian Billick played collegiately at Brigham Young after he started at the Air Force Academy. 39 years of age.
And his goal today was to force the Broncos defensive backs to give them a couple of different looks to get them out of their comfort zone. I think he's put them right on the hot seat. 254 yards passing first half.
First down and 10, no timeouts. The Broncos had to use all 3 of theirs. They lead by only 3 now. Rydell over the ball. Blitz coming. Elway goes deep to Shannon Sharpe. What a perfect pass. They'll have to hurry. 45 seconds remaining in the half. A gain of 32.
But if there's a quarterback in the NFL that doesn't need to use timeouts, or it's John Elway. Risky call there by Dungy going with the blitz. Sharpe was man-to-man on Pearson. And now we've got offsides.
Dolman came across, and he's claiming that Zimmerman drew him across. There was other movement as well.
False start. 75 offense. Moving prior to the snap. 5 yards. Still first down.
Brian Habib, a former Viking.
But you know that stopped the clock momentarily. So for 5 seconds, you got 5 yards. They'll rewind the clock here.
Jason Elam warming up on the sideline just in case. Ball at the 40 right now. 4-man rush by Minnesota. Elway across the middle. At the 33-yard line, tackle made by Carlos Jenkins.
You see the Vikings are in a zone defense now. They're not going to risk the blitz again.
And there's the spike by Elway, stopping the clock, and a flag is thrown. Well, Jason Elam has hit from 54 yards out this season. Did that in week 2.
Offsides. Number 97. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards. Still second down.
Yet another penalty against Minnesota. That's number 8.
That one might really hurt the most, too, because that moves Elam a little bit closer. But don't forget, that moves Elway a little bit closer, too.
Indeed. 14 seconds to go. 4-man rush again. Elway in the middle, caught at the 5-yard line. Shannon Sharpe. Now they'll have to hurry and spike the ball. Can they get it set? No, they cannot. Flags are down.
Now remember, the half cannot end on a defensive foul.
Well, I can read lips, and one of the officials just said the offense was not set. The half is over.
That's real good work by the officials,
yes,
getting together.
There is no play. The clock had expired prior to the ball being put in play. That's the end of the first half.
Good teamwork by the officials, because the official that threw the flag could not see the clock. Another official could, and he overruled the penalty flag.
Well, it's been a dandy first half. The Broncos went up by 20-3. Sean Salisbury led Minnesota back, and it's a 3-point margin at the half.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota, makers of the exciting all-new Celica. Watch out, it's here. Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Drive. Hewlett-Packard, DeskJet, and LaserJet printers. And by Payne Weber, we believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships.
The National Football League salutes teachers across the nation through its Teacher of the Year program.
He helped me understand that my athletic ability was not going to last a lifetime, so he really stressed education. He said a solid education will be your foundation for life.
Each month, the NFL salutes a teacher who had a positive influence on the overall development of an NFL player. This month, the NFL salutes Judy Chapman, nominated by Tommy Maddox of the Denver Broncos.
Teachers are role models each and every day, and that's why I worked hard to get my teaching certificate to be a teacher.
She helped me both academically, socially, and as a friend to grow and gain confidence.
It's just hard for me to think now how she gave that much, you know, when she didn't have to. She really didn't have to. I can never thank her enough.
Athletes are not the only role models. Teachers can be role models, too.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
What do you want me to tell you? Okay. Cub has the freshest produce. They come straight from the farmer's field to our back door to our shelves. It really looks good. More? You don't get any fresher than that.
Baked fresh every day.
Okay, Mark, here you go.
Baked fresh every day.
Hang on.
Good fluid.
Take two. Ready? Yeah. Cut.
French bread.
Great. One more time.
One more time.
Don't you just hate it when you buy a brand new computer and then you find it somewhere else for a lot less? Introducing the new Computer Supercenter that guarantees great prices and over 5,000 items every day. Like this IBM PS1 Expert with color monitor for $1,348. Computer City, guaranteed great prices every day.
Tim Berg's parents are loyal Colorado National Bank customers, not just because 5 years ago the bank set up their IRA or 12 years ago helped them get their mortgage. Tim's parents are with Colorado National because this year their banker took the time to learn more about each member of the family and tactfully suggested a college education fund for young Tim.
Terry Bradshaw back with the action from earlier today. In New Orleans, Packers trail by 1 final minute. Here's Brett Favre.
Favre gets out of the pocket. A prevent zone is designed to stop this, Greg. The bomb that'll beat you in the end of the game. Sterling Sharpe, big catch.
Set up Chris Jackie for the 36-yard field goal with just 3 seconds to play. Packers won at 19-17. Brett loves playing in the Dome.
I wanted to come here and make a good showing for me, for my team, and for the fans that have come here to root me on. And it's just a great place to come back to and have a game like this.
In Tampa, the 49ers continue to roll. Steve Young to Jerry Rice for touchdowns 4 times today as the 49ers crush Tampa. Steve Young likes it.
We just need to keep pushing because we got a great game next week against New Orleans. And if we can, to me, we'll put out the accolades maybe at the end of the season. Right now, we are playing very good offensively, but we want to push on.
Redskins and the Giants at the Meadowlands. Dave Meggett throwing the ball.
Well, earlier in the year, remember, against the Redskins, Meggett went to the left, found Sharpe for a TD. This time, Callaway to the right side.
Mark Rippon's been having some problems getting balls batted back into his face. Gets this one knocked down by Corey Miller. He also had 7 passes dropped on him today.
Frustration today. Rippon out. Good pressure. Gets outside, finds his man, throws an ugly ball, makes an ugly drop, and Rip says, I had enough.
The Giants roll 20-6. In Philadelphia, Don Shula looking for a record-setting win number 325 as a coach. He had to do it without Miami quarterback Scott Mitchell, who left the game with a separated left shoulder. Ken O'Brien, meanwhile, had his problem.
Great quarterbacks have great grasp of things, Greg, but one of them is a wet ball, hard to handle. O'Brien drops it.
Miami won at 19-14. Don Shula sets the record all-time victories as a coach. Our Jim Gray was down on the field with the victorious coach after the game.
Don, your thoughts on breaking this record?
Oh, it's fantastic. The guys hanging there like they did with Mitchell going down and our next quarterback stepping up. But now we got to have a great year. I want to remember this in the context of a great year. All right.
And in Cincinnati, are the Bengals about to shuffle off to Baltimore? Who knows? We do know that Warren Moon had another great day against the Bengals. 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them to Haywood Jeffries. The Oilers win it 38-3. And the NFL continues right after this.
Is their 60 Minutes anniversary show really as good as the critics say it is? See for yourself in a special 2-hour 60 Minutes. Then, America's beloved saga continues, an epic television event with an all-star cast. Return to Lonesome Dove tonight. Don't miss 2 incredible legends only on CBS.
Will Dave be Kenny's love doctor? You're fixing him up?
Shell, you're not ready to start dating yet.
My bill at the video store last month was $600. I'm ready, baby.
Dave's World, Monday. This is CBS.
Before you buy a new car, consider the comfort. Consider the quiet. Consider the power. Consider the fit and the finish. But most importantly, before you buy a new car, consider these options. The Chevy S-Series, so new from the inside out. Everything else is history.
Under conditions like these, the Pentax IQ Zoom 90WR doesn't break, it snaps.
They gathered at the co-op one Saturday morning. Independent farmers pulling together to make their community a better place. That's the idea behind the local co-ops that make up the farmland system. Co-ops owned by local farmers to meet local needs. Supplying farmland inputs for better farming to help produce better food more profitably. Together, they build a system that benefits everyone. Farmland. Better farming, better food.
Janet and John Elway offstage today on Colorado 7 News at 5.
One of America's darkest weekends. A president is assassinated, but the NFL decides the games must go on. It was the day they played football. Reflections 30 years later, next Sunday on the NFL Today.
The NFL Today Dockers halftime report is sponsored by new Loose Fit Dockers. Nobody does pants like Dockers.
Halftime of the game between the Vikings and the Broncos. Welcome back, everyone. The Broncos have gotten 2 touchdown passes from John Elway.
They've gotten 2 touchdown passes from John Elway. Unfortunately, they had used up their 3 timeouts, or they might have been able to stop the clock on that last drive there. One of the things would be concerned a little bit, Greg, is Salisbury's thrown for over 250 yards in just the first half.
Denver Broncos looking to go 6-3 with a victory. They lead it by 3 at halftime. In Dallas, the Cowboys in charge of the Phoenix Cardinals, 17-0. Now, Bernie Kosar arrived on the scene with 5 minutes to play in the first half. Todd Philcox, the starter for the Browns, has played the entire first half. Look at the comparison.
Diminishing skills, Greg. That points it out right there. Look at this. 7 for 8, 152 yards and a TD for Bernie. He's obviously washed up. Philcox, though, star on the rise, 2 for 7, 59 yards, 2 interceptions, not to mention 2 fumbles. Poor Bernie.
Bernie Kosar has fumbled once, and down in Dallas, they love the arrival of Bernie Kosar, and this is Bernie getting a nice little pitch-and-catch play with Emmitt Smith.
Hey, give a man that's got talent a little bit of time and some players around him, and this is what happens. A small screen out of the backfield. Emmitt, great power, and here's a great effort, man, by the safety. This is Williams coming down, knocks off the block, and finally gets him out on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Bernie is not supposed to be able to move around in the backfield either.
Can't move a lick, Greg. That's why you don't want Bernie doing this. See there? He pulls up. Smart guys wouldn't do that. There's that great arm. Of course, that arm's not what it used to be.
Cowboys are after a 7th straight win. They lead the Cardinals 17-0 at halftime. In Los Angeles, the Raiders leading the Kansas City Chiefs 17-7 in the 3rd quarter. Dave Craig again quarterbacking the Chiefs with Montana out with the injury. In Seattle, the Seahawks leading the Cleveland Browns 7-5 at halftime. In the Hoosier Dome, they have now gone to the 3rd quarter. The New York Jets with a 7-point lead over Indianapolis. Boomer Esiason has thrown a touchdown pass to Chris Burkett for New York. And in Los Angeles, the Rams trail the Atlanta Falcons 6-0. That game has gone to the 3rd quarter as well. And the NFL on CBS will continue right after this.
There's a new kind of Dockers. New loose fit Dockers. Maybe you've seen them downtown at the office, at one of the better seaside resorts, or maybe over the backgammon table. Fact is, almost anywhere a guy wants to look sharp and still feel comfortable is where you'll find new loose fit Dockers. Which only makes sense, because nobody does pants like Dockers.
If your business gives up AT&T quality, chasing after big savings from another long-distance company, don't expect to find a pot of gold. Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Look to us for special delivery. Call us. We'll arrange to pick you up at your home, office, or repair shop. That's special delivery. That's Enterprise.
Will Murphy survive journalism's big award?
From the moment I joined FYI, you've been jealous of me.
Freud might disagree, but believe me, there is nothing you have that I want.
Murphy Brown. Then, when Jack and Dana both show up at the doctor.
What are you doing here? He won't say.
Will it become a pain in the...
I just want you to relax.
Love and War after Murphy Brown, Monday.
How safe is the chicken you eat? Over 1 million Americans are poisoned each year. Ways to protect yourself in an Eye on America special investigation this week on the CBS Evening News.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL. And by Braun Flex Control, the first electric shaver with a pivoting head that adjusts to every contour of your face.
76,000 tickets sold, and they have enjoyed a good ball game. Those who came to the game today, 20-17. Denver was up 20-3 at one point, and the Vikings came back to score twice in the last 2 minutes. Had it not been for a fumble on the second drive of the ball game, Minnesota would be in the lead right now.
And that fumble was a miss handoff between, or a miss fake handoff between Salisbury and Barry Ward. But they really did come back in that second quarter. Salisbury is averaging over 10 yards per attempt. And Jordan has 6 receptions, but this key block on Fletcher allows Salisbury to get outside and find Cris Carter in the back of the end zone. And then just an outstanding play selection by Brian Billick on the screen, and perfect execution as they first get the block on Fletcher, and then downfield Schreiber and Kalis clear the path for Craig to get into the end zone.
Well, let's not forget that the Broncos do lead by 20-17, but Minnesota has been able to exploit this Denver defense, pass defense, deep.
Yes, they have, and the amazing thing is it's because of Salisbury's strong arm. This statistic, where you're getting the ball down the field, you got to be throwing it to your wide receivers, and your tight end Jordan got the big one down the middle too. But 5 out of 7 plus 20, that's a fantastic statistic.
Well, a week ago in a loss to San Diego, Sean Salisbury threw for 347 yards, and already at the half he has thrown for 254. The Broncos will get the ball, however, on offense to begin the second half. Fuad Reveiz will kick it off. Glenn Milburn waits for it at the 1. And does not get it out to the 20. He'll be down at the 19. First down and 10. And a flag is down. Rushing yards, not much. Haven't been a factor at all. Passing yards, look at that. Minnesota total, 245. The turnovers have been costly, and they've also been penalized a bunch.
Offsides. Offsides. Number 82 on the kicking team, 5 yards.
And the penalty problems continue. That ball was going to be Broncos are going to take over inside the 20-yard line now. This will allow the Broncos a better return, but Ismail is the guy that's offsides. That's really inexcusable. All you have to do is look inside to see when the kicker kicks the ball. You can't be ahead of the kicker. Totally amazed and shocked that he could be offsides.
But seemingly unconcerned.
And he doesn't really need to be offsides with his speed.
That's right. So we'll kick it again from the 30-yard line. Qadry Ismail. Second unpicked this year. And we'll try it over. Glenn Milburn moves up to the 5-yard line. Arthur Marshall is also back with him. Ismail still not believing that he was called offside. And there is a definite sense of the anticlimactic after.
And he won't be offsides this time because he's on the bench.
Right. See what a difference it makes. Here's Milburn at the 5. Big difference. They gain 10 yards after the 5-yard penalty. Jake Reed makes the tackle. And here comes John Elway and the Denver offense back on the field.
And you can see the improvement they've made in the offseason, acquiring Bernstine, and Delpino and drafting Glenn Milburn. This is a 10-point difference here, and that's why they're number 2 in the NFL and well on their way today with 20 points in the first half.
Here's a bulletin, another flag. This one at the 40-yard line. Personal foul, Denver.
Well, Denver doesn't want to be outdone. They can create fouls and penalties.
This will be their 4th.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 37 Denver, half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's Anthony Lynn, a backup running back. So after all of that, Wade Phillips and the Broncos have a first down and 10 at their own 15-yard line. 20-17 as we begin the second half. Elway, left side. Out to the 22-yard line, the catch made by Derek Russell, and the tackle made by Fred Strickland, number 53.
Talking to Tony Dungy about their chances today, he felt that they matched up well against Elway and against the Broncos, particularly in the pass rush. The Broncos like to just use 5 pass blockers, and the Vikings have 4 of the best pass rushers in their down linemen.
Second down and officially 2. That'll move the ball out to the 25-yard line. Elway throws a rope, and a flag is now thrown in the offensive backfield. Holding against Denver.
Yeah, the quickness of the Viking defensive line that time was too much. Like Henry Thomas is shaken up a little bit. Thomas may have been the guy that was held on the play.
Holding, 75 offense, 10 yards, still second down.
That's Brian Habib, the right guard. And here he is, and right behind Del Rio is Henry Thomas. And great move by Thomas, just swatting Habib out of the way, and Habib had to reach out and grab him.
Yeah, he tackled it. Second down and 13. And here's Elway back, this time with protection. Comes right, screen pass. And a good defensive play by Henry Thomas, who was injured on the play. He made the tackle from behind. Now he's going to be a little slow getting up, and will do so holding and favoring his right knee.
This was as outstanding a play as he made on the previous play when he got held. Watch Thomas recognize the screen, getting double team, fighting off the block of both Wydell and Habib, and then tackling Bernstine from behind.
Thomas stays in. It'll be third down and 12. Elway sacked and dropped. John Randall, who came in with 5.5 sacks for the season, gets to Elway for that one.
Well, when you sack the quarterback, your chances are pretty good. You see, when John Elway has been sacked, and he's been sacked twice now today, this is their record.
And then 3 or more.
If you get them down a few more times, you're going to win the ball game. Simple as that.
Tom Ruin from the end zone. And Minnesota will have a chance to go on top, having trailed at 1 point, 20-3. Not a terrific kick. Out of bounds at the 43-yard line of the Denver Broncos.
And how crucial was that personal foul penalty on the kickoff return by Anthony Lynn? The Broncos were going to take over the ball outside the 30-yard line. The 15 yards pushed them inside the 20 all the way to the 14, and that made Wade Phillips and his offense a little antsy. Henry Thomas took over, and now the Vikings come out with the ball inside the Bronco 40. What a turn of events.
Brian Billy kept the offense on the sideline until the last minute. They huddled on the sideline. Now they come out. Salisbury threw for 254 in the first half. Flags are down.
We got a false start against the Vikings.
False start. Number 61 offense. 5 yards, moving Carter to the snap. Still first down.
And one of the reasons the Vikings huddle on the sidelines and then run to the line of scrimmage is they don't want to give the defense a chance to recognize the personnel. At that time, they snuck Derek Tennell, one of the reserve tight ends, into the ball game before the Broncos could recognize it. So the Vikings right now have 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends, although Tennell is lined up in the backfield.
And it'll be first down and 15. Salisbury will go from the shotgun. Now we've had 14 penalties accepted so far in the ball game. So if you're a fan of flags, it'll be a kind of day.
Yeah, if you're a laundryman, you're loving it.
Right. Salisbury with a lot of time across the middle, and he has Carter in a crossing route. Cris Carter gets a downfield block and then fumbles out of bounds. He was down by contact inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. A gain of 26 yards.
Right now, Cris Carter is just taking Frank Robinson to school. On the outside, it's just a deep crossing route. Here's Robinson and Carter hooked up. Watch him push Robinson deep and then cut across the middle.
Now back to live action. Here's a draw play, and Barry Word slips and falls. One of the first times we've seen anybody slip on this real grass at Mile High Stadium.
Yeah, I really love the fact that this is a multi-purpose stadium. The Rockies, of course, play here, and the Broncos, and it's a grass field, and it works for both sports. Something that the NFL ought to look at and rip out all those other AstroTurf fields and put this type of field where there now is AstroTurf.
Second down and 10. Rockies don't just play here. They draw $4.5 million here. Salisbury almost picked off. Flag is down. We may have an interference call on Dennis Smith.
Yep, they're going to get Dennis Smith as he closed on Cris Carter. The same exact route, a deep crossing route by Cris Carter, and Dennis Smith came a little bit too soon, got the contact, and 3 penalty flags.
Pass interference. Number 49 defense. It's a first and goal.
Watch left side of the screen. Carter's going to come into the picture, and then right behind him, there's the contact by Dennis Smith, and the ball's inside the 5 for Minnesota.
Roger Craig is in the backfield now, and Mike Tice comes in as a second tight end. First and goal from the 3. Craig has it, spilled at the 2.
Boy, real nice play by Dan Williams, number 90, just knifed in there and took the legs out from underneath Roger Craig.
That'll set up a second down and goal. Well, this is a Minnesota team that at one point had 6 penalties and 3 turnovers and were down 20-3, and now they have a chance to take the lead. A second and goal from the 2. Backfield, Randall McDaniel, the guard, to provide the blocking punch, but not enough of it as Craig is stopped at the 1.
Now McDaniel did his job, but Derek Tennell whiffed on his blocks. Dave Wyman got in there and made the tackle. Watch number 46, Tennell, come over here just a little bit late. He can't make the block, nor can Scott Adams. Vikings don't get in.
Third and goal. McDaniel loads it up to the right side. Play action. Salisbury, nobody open. Now fires it away in the end zone for Mike Tice.
Boy, and you don't think the Vikings miss Robert Smith now. 2 real pathetic straight-ahead dives by the Vikings, and then a play-action pass on 3rd down. You knew the Broncos knew that this play-action was coming. Single-man receiver. Tice was the guy. Great job of defending him by Dennis Smith. And Atwater came over later. But a heck of a stand by the Broncos.
For the tie, here is Fuad Reveiz. 19-yard attempt is up and good. And with 9 minutes and 41 seconds remaining, the Minnesota Vikings have completed the comeback. They've scored the last 17 points, and we are notched at 20 apiece.
It may not look busy, but this Dodge Intrepid is processing 2 million pieces of information per second. Its remarkable computer network constantly analyzes data that helps it choose shift points, optimize fuel economy, even maintain the inside temperature you want. Just think, with 5 seconds left in this commercial, Intrepid still has about 10 million things to do. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
Yeah, golf. Football. Golf. No. Football.
Let's watch both.
Miller Lite presents Full Contact Golf.
Yeah!
We're still on the first hole, Bob, and this is Davis teeing it up. Here's the drive. It is blocked. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything. Oh, he's got daylight going for the green. Here's the putt. There's the blitz. It's good. Yeah!
Tough hole. Good beer.
Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Braun Flex Control. The first electric shaver with a pivoting head. Flex Control automatically adjusts to every contour of your face. Under the chin, under the lip, that tricky spot under your nose. You'll get the closest Braun shave yet. Flex Control from Braun. The last word in shavers.
In 1970, the Dallas Cowboys used a third-round draft pick to take a former Clemson quarterback as a defensive back. Well, Charlie Waters came in and played a very distinguished career at both cornerback and strong safety, and as a star of the special teams. Charlie Waters with Cliff Harris, one of the best tandems in a defensive backfield to lead the Cowboys. 13 years, 3 Pro Bowls, 9 playoff interceptions in his career. I saw him get 3 of those in one game against Chicago.
And his 17-point lead has disappeared because his defense is not getting pressure on Salisbury, something he was worried about when we talked to him on Friday. Said the Vikings like to use little tiny splits in their offensive line and max protect the quarterback. It's working for him.
Here's Milburn with the kickoff. 20-20 is the score. And Glenn Milburn gets it back to the 25-yard line. This is a big game for both these teams. With the way the AFC West is going, and Kansas City is losing to the Raiders right now, if the Broncos win, they could be tied at the top of the AFC West. And of course, Detroit is out in front of the NFC Central, playing that 5th place schedule, which is a gift from the league.
And the Vikings are trying to keep pace with Green Bay, who won earlier today against New Orleans.
Exactly. Robert Delpino's in the backfield, and the shotgun is used by the Broncos. Delpino. 50 moves. And Robert Delpino is out to the 34-yard line.
You know, Vern, I really don't mind broadcasting this type of ball game when they come out in the shotgun on first down. We've had over 400 yards of passing offense. I can handle this. This is good.
Knowing that it has received your blessing, I'm sure that both teams will now play with even more inspiration for the duration.
Well, you know, you sit up in the box here, you feel a little bit like one of those Roman emperors. Thumbs up on this game.
All right. Here's Elway back, left side. Flag is down. There's something we've seen today. Delpino out to the 40-yard line. Carlos Jenkins, number 51. Well, we at CBS, of course, only get a chance to come into Mile High a maximum of 2 times a year. And it is just such a terrific place from which to broadcast a game.
Illegal formation, number 65 offense, not a line of scrimmage, 5 yards, still second down.
Boy, they're picking on Gary Zimmerman, aren't they? This time they get him for lining up too far back. Well, the reason he's back is because the Vikings are crowding the line. They're in the neutral zone all the time.
You see how these 3 decks sit right on top of the field here. So there's a wall of sound that is so much a part of the game. Here's Delpino on second down out across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, it's really a great home field advantage for the Broncos because there are 3 factors that the visiting team has to deal with. They have to deal with the mile-high altitude. They have to deal with the crowd noise, and when it gets late in the season, you have to deal with the weather.
Well, the last time Minnesota played here was almost 9 years ago this weekend. It was November 18th of '84, and this man, John Elway, threw for 5 touchdown passes in that game. A 42-21 victory. Another flag. Here's Elway. Shannon Sharpe gets by J.C. Pearson. Gets a block downfield from Vance Johnson. And is out of bounds at the 3-yard line, but there is a flag down.
It looks like it's coming back. Yep. Big play by Shannon Sharpe, but it's all for nothing.
Motion penalty against Denver will wipe out a 66-yard pass catch.
Yeah, and that'll give you a gastroenteritis or whatever he had. Let's see who the guilty party here is with the illegal motion. There are 2 men moving at the same time right there, and that's a good call by the officials.
5 yards, still 3rd down.
Lack of concentration on the Broncos' part.
Well, the Broncos are catching up, too, in the penalty department. That's their 8th.
Oh, we got a tie game. Why not tie up the penalties, too?
It was 6-0 Minnesota for a long time. Now it's 9-8 Minnesota. Screen pass, right side. Milburn doesn't get the block he needed.
Wonderful tackle there by Anthony Parker, the guy that was victimized a couple of weeks ago in that questionable pass interference call. Just made a super tackle on Milburn. Watch Milburn just kind of slip out to the right side behind his blocker here. And this is just about as good an open field tackle as you'll ever see. Had to avoid that big offensive lineman and then bring down a real shifty runner.
That was John Melander who was trying to get there for the block. And on 4th down, low snap, Bruin picks it up, line drive punt. Guilford at the 30. Downfield coverage is excellent for the Broncos. The tackle made by Jeff Mills, number 52, a 44-yard punt. And 6 on the return. 6:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. We are still tied at 20.
Finally, there's a TV that proves technology can make our lives easier. A Magnavox TV with a precise color picture, smart windows which preview other channels, and the unique smart sound feature, which ensures your volume will stay at normal levels no matter what comes on. Magnavox is so smart, I didn't even have to show up for this commercial. Commercial. How'd I do?
Great. You were great.
The innovative TVs from Magnavox. Smart, very smart.
Dodge Intrepid comes with this fancy bit of electronics that senses when you're carrying passengers and cargo. Knowing that, it can choose shift points to improve performance. But what's more, Intrepid actually learns how you drive by monitoring every mile. It even adjusts shift quality according to your driving habits. Imagine a car learning how to drive, and you're the teacher. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
Okay, class, if a pizza with 3 toppings costs $10.99, what would I pay for 6 toppings?
$12.99, $15.99, $18.99.
Well, anyone? $10.99.
Huh?
The reason is...
It's Bigfoot! It's the Bigfoot Big 6 Pizza. Get our special 6 toppings for the 3-topping price of $10.99.
Are you sure you're the Pizza Hut guy?
Bigfoot from Pizza Hut, a legendary value.
This week on Dave, Billy Crystal, Carly Simon, Sinbad, Trisha Yearwood, Meatloaf, and Dana Carvey. This week.
On Sunday afternoons, you'll find number 97, Henry Thomas, causing havoc in offensive backfields for the Vikings. On Wednesday nights, you'll find him at the bowling alley. He's a key member of the team that represents Fritz's Bar in Minneapolis. Flag is down. What a bulletin. There's a catch made at the 47-yard line, but bring it back. This is going to be a dead ball foul.
Right, but it will be in the highlight film, though.
Oh.
Great catch by Jordan.
False start. Number 83, offense. Moving prior to the snap, 5 yards, still first down.
Tom White is getting more airtime than David Letterman.
I told you weird things happen here in Denver. These penalties are unbelievable. Another good call, though, as Jordan flinched on the right side of the screen. I kind of liked Henry Thomas' description of his bowling shirt. Nice black silk one, has Hank on over the pocket and Fritz's bar on the back. A little upset that they're in third place, though.
The game clock.
Says it's important for his teammates, Fred, Jerry, Bob, Brian, and Jerry, to crank things back up, because Hank is real sore on those days, and he needs help.
He's got that 175 pin bowling average.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, not 175 yards.
And you used to do bowling for...
Well, I'm not used to bowling, you understand. First down and 15. There's the draw play. It goes to Barry Word, and he gets about 2 of it back after the 31. Now let's see what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys. Back to Greg in New York.
All right, Vern, in Dallas, an Emmitt Smith fumble has led to a Phoenix touchdown. Chris Chandler to Larry Center, 17 yards. It is now a 17-10 Cowboy lead in the third quarter, Vern.
All right, 20-20 is our score. 6:21 to go, third quarter. Second down and 13. Salisbury, that ball appeared for the moment to have been tipped. Jordan can't make the catch. It'll be third down.
Yeah, it did get tipped there, Vernon, and that was a big play as the Broncos came with a second down blitz. Jordan was open, but the ball just kind of fluttered after the deflection. But the Vikings have got to get something going on the run. They're not going to run in this situation. They're averaging less than 3 yards a carry this afternoon.
Well, 44 yards on the ground so far in this ball game. That comes on the heels of 20 yards against San Diego last week. Salisbury goes deep right side. Jake Reed is down there fighting for the ball, and it's incomplete as Robinson was covering him.
That was a real good job of Robinson, just cutting off the path of Reed and getting in his way and preventing him from getting after that pass. Nice play by Frank Robinson.
And Jake Reed will come back and be a part of the special teams effort now. There's Dolman and Thomas. Henry Thomas said their toughest competition in the bowling league comes from a group of guys who just call themselves imaginatively Team 14.
They're a bunch of bullies is what they are.
Glenn Milburn is back. Oh, that's a dandy punt by Newsome. Milburn at the 13. Pretty nifty return as he moves it out to the 30-yard line. A 56-yard Newsome punt. 17 on the return. The tackle made by the center Mike Morris. 20-20.
Dodge Intrepid has a steering system so advanced it can actually sense how fast you're driving. At highway speeds, it gives you a more precise feel for the road. As you slow down, it adds power and makes turning and parking easier to handle. To get your hands on steering this sophisticated, have a seat. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
The client everybody's after wants to meet us for dinner. Can you be ready in 10 minutes?
Norelco introduces the compact speed racer. Why show up at a 7 p.m. meeting with a 7 a.m. shave? The new Norelco speed racer, close and comfortable to go.
What would you have if you took a taste just like White Zinfandel and added the sparkle of champagne? You'd have something even better than White Zinfandel. You'd have the delicious new taste of Eden Rock Brut Rosé, the dazzling new taste in champagne.
What's in the bag? Lunch. Quarter pound of cheese, fries. Kick you for it. First one that misses. I know. Watches the winner eat. Barefoot, helmet on backwards, split the uprights. Through the tunnel, hook it, off the stone guy, split the uprights.
These guys are good.
Off the freeway, through the tunnel, off the scoreboard, split the uprights.
Is their 60 Minutes anniversary show really as good as the critics say it is? See for yourself when the best 1 hour in television becomes the best 2 hours in television tonight.